What up, RYC? How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, thank you, Eli and Weston. How are the rest of you guys doing? Well, you're tired? Okay, me too. It's cool. I feel you. All right, so I'm just going to go over a few quick announcements with you really quickly before we start our service. Okay, so first one's on the back of your card. It's a movie night. It's October 7th. It's at Haley Benson's house, Haley and Madison Benson's house. There's also a, what do you call it, a flyer, whatever, on the new Revolution Youth Church Facebook page. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Also, last week's message is on that, so if you want to do that, it's at the bottom of your card with the Facebook icon so you know what we're doing. All right, second thing, I'm going to serve this thing around. I'm going to pass it around. And if you are interested in going to this movie night, I want you to put your name on it just so we know how many people we're going to have, so we can accommodate if we stay, bring popcorn or drink. Okay? Yeah, so I can bring popcorn. But we want to know how many kids are going. So if you're interested, please put your name on that list. Thank you. Another thing, you all have a piece of paper with you, and it's got nothing written on it. It's specifically for you. Okay? So last week, I showed you guys this awesome suggestion box. And I said, you guys, put something in the suggestion box. And I had 3 pieces of paper in there that I put in there so that people would be like, oh yeah, I'll put something in the suggestion box because I'm not the only one. And no one put anything in there. And I don't know what you guys want, okay? So this is for anything. This is like, hey, I want to serve walking tacos at the snack bar, which I want to do. So you can't have that one, okay? But like, say something or be like, hey, I think it'd be really cool if we did this song in worship. Or hey, I think it'd be really cool if you explored this as part of your message series. Or did a series on this. Or something like that. Put something on that, and then I want you to put it in this box when service is done. Okay? Okay? Is everybody going to do it? No.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was really sad last week. Nobody did anything. It was really embarrassing. I was like, whatever. Y'all are fun. Okay, so I think those are mine now. Did everybody have a good day? Yeah. It was good? Okay, yeah. Does anybody have birthdays this week? Anybody? Yes, mine. What was that? Hey, this is Tuesday, next Tuesday.
That would be next week.
Yeah, it'll be next week. We'll sing to you next week. Okay. No birthdays? Okay, cool. So with that, we're gonna have Maya come up here and give an announcement.
Yeah, Maya!
Hi guys.
I'm sorry. So, starting in 2 weeks from yesterday, the college ministry that we've been talking about is starting. We changed the time to 7 o'clock. I might have told you guys 6, but it's definitely 7, starting next Tuesday. And I really highly encourage all the college students, all of the leaders in here to please come join us. We're focusing on fellowship, focusing on community. And it's really important. I really want to see you guys part of that ministry. And if you don't come, you're missing out. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend, like, seriously, please come. Yeah, and we'll be diving into a Bible study the first week, and then the next week after that we'll be experiencing some awesome worship from David and Weston, and then we'll display the small groups the week after that, and the week after that we'll listen to an awesome sermon. Like, you don't want to miss out. Are you raising your hand? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So we're all able to come.
If you're out of high school.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, I'm really just talking mostly to the leaders in here and anyone who's in college, 18 to 30. But if you know somebody in that age group, be like, hey, come check it out. It's called The Bridge, Tuesdays at 7. Awesome.
Yeah! Right!
Fantastic. Okay, also, I forgot to mention this. So the other day, I really wanted brownies, right? And I was like, hey, Dad, would you make me some brownies with butterscotch in them? And he was like, okay, because I like butterscotch. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, so he made me all these brownies, and, you know, me, I only really wanted like 1 or 2, you know, and he made the big cookie sheet of it. So we have a bunch of brownies over there that you guys are free to eat. They're free. You don't have to pay for them, and they're really great. But my dad doesn't want sugar in the house because my mom's trying not to eat sugar, and my dad's trying to lose weight. And it's whatever, old people thing. But, you know.
How you doing?
Yeah, okay. But Dan is more in shape than I am, so it's not fair. It's not whatever. So, anyways, also, I want to say one thing. Why I gave you all the sheet, okay, was nobody's participating and it's driving me a little bonkers, okay? Because I need participation, okay? I am new at this. I am not meant to, I never knew I was going to be a youth pastor. Last week was my first week. I was really nervous. I don't know if y'all saw, I tripped on this thing. It was really quite funny. But anyway, I'm nervous, so I need you guys to help me and participate and say, right, okay, amen, preach it, whatever you want to say it. But don't just be talking to your neighbor, because then I'm going to call you out. And I'll be like, hey, you, Evie, look at me. Oh. Woo! Oh. That's what I'm going to do. So, don't do it. Don't be talking to your neighbor, okay? All right, anyway, so I'm sorry I called you out of you. Anyway, so I want you to do that. I want you to participate with me. Also, why I gave you the card to write in the suggestion box. And, yeah, also, another funny thing. Last week, or earlier this week, sometime, whatever, I put in the RYC group meet, and I said, hey, everybody, I need your help. You should tell me your favorite candy. Okay, just text it to me. I said that on the RYC group meet. You know how many people responded to me?
I didn't get that.
Zero. It's on there. It's on the group meet. Okay. So maybe that was it. Maybe that was the reason. But it was on the group meet, okay? And no one responded to me. And what was so funny, I was going to bring candy for all y'all. And no one responded. So I was like,
Can we do like Messenger or something?
Messenger instead? Does that work better for everybody?
Yeah,
Sure, I just did
Yes.
Trinette,
You can
gotta
like
get with
messages
the
like
time.
really those that you don't have
Mama
like
T's
10,000
gotta get with the
thumbs
time.
ups. I did.
Mama
So that's
T.
why I'm like, this is
Hold up.
We got Facebook.
Woo! Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Okay, so on those cards that you have, you can write whether you'd like group me or messenger. How handy is that? It's fabulous. Okay, so anyway, we're just going to go over a quick recap of what we talked about last week. We're going to get into our message that I am super excited about, and I hope you guys are too. Okay, hey Trinette, don't be talking.
She was talking.
Don't do it.
Mama T.
Don't do it. You guys talk to me, don't talk to each other. Okay. So anyway, last week we talked about Daniel, okay? And last week we were talking about Daniel in the lion's den specifically. And we talked about how Daniel is a man of ridiculous faith. Even when he was in the face of death, even when he was surrounded by lions that can jump 36 feet forward, which is frightening, even when they do that, he was still calm. He was good, you know? And there were three things we talked about. Can anyone tell me any of the three things? That's okay if not.
God's whispers.
God, listening to the whispers of God. Maya, you're looking at your phone. I know you got your notes on your phone. Taylor, what about you? Mac and cheese. that is something we talked about last week, but that was listening to the quiet whispers of God. Yeah. Okay.
My faith is greater than fear.
Let faith be greater than your fear. Anybody else? Okay. The second
The
point.
whispers of God.
We've already said that one.
Did we really?
Keep your eyes focused on the Almighty.
Nicely done. Okay. Keeping your eyes focused on the Almighty. That's what we talked about. And so we wanted to have a faith like Daniel. Okay. So this week, our message is not called faith over fear anymore. I don't know if you all noticed that. But it's called faith over familiar. Okay? And so, okay, I wanted to name this series Faith Over and have it be a blank, like faith over blank. But that sounded like I was saying, you know, you don't need faith, it's over. You know, and I was like, oh, I don't like the way that sounds. So no, we'll do faith over fear first week, and then faith over familiar, and then something different next week. So stay tuned. Anyway, so when I found out I was going to be a youth pastor, or be doing this and filling in for, well, I'm not filling in. I'm being a youth pastor. I'm going to say that. I'm sticking to it. When I found out I was going to do that, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do what I'm preaching about tonight. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to preach it. And then I was like, okay, but I want to do a series, and realistically, I have to have other things. I can't just preach the one message that I really want to preach. But I get to preach it tonight, which I'm really excited about. And what I wanted to talk about was Esther, okay? And I don't know if y'all know the story of Esther, but, you know, I knew it kind of because I watched VeggieTales. You know, so like I remember, you know, and she was like an asparagus or something. She didn't have arms, and she's like hopping around. But I really don't remember, you know. So that's all I knew about Esther was VeggieTales. So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about Esther tonight. First off, Esther was an orphan. She was like 14 years old. She was being raised by her uncle Mordecai. Okay, I don't know about y'all. Have you ever watched regular show?
Yes.
Regular show. I know David has and Wes. Okay. Well, it's a really weird Cartoon Network show, but the whole time I was like typing this out, his name is Mordecai, and then there's Rigby, and I was like, Mordecai and Rigby. No, just kidding. Mordecai and Esther. That's cool. But I just thought that was a funny side tangent. So anyway, Mordecai was raising Esther in Susa, which was the capital of Persia back then. And it's kind of funny because it was 100 years after King Nebuchadnezzar took over. So that's where Daniel was, and now we're 100 years later with Esther. I thought that was a cool little side note. If y'all like history, sorry. Anyway, so these people, they're Jewish exiles. Okay, so they were forced into the land of exile when King Nebuchadnezzar took the throne. And some people went back to Jerusalem, but a lot of people just stayed in the land of exile. And so these people, Esther and Mordecai, they were in Susa. So that's where they were. Mordecai worked as a gatekeeper for the king. Okay, his name is King Xerxes. I think that's a cool name. He's spelled with an X, not a Z. But he worked as a gatekeeper for King Xerxes. Okay, he was a good man. He was raising his niece. And Esther is remarkably beautiful, smart, and she also has ridiculous faith like Daniel. So it's pretty cool, and that's kind of the whole, I don't know, underlying tone or something of the message series that we're preaching today. So, story of Esther. So King Xerxes, he's hosting this epic banquet, right? It lasted 187 days, right? And like that's like half of the year. Like, what are you doing, man? But I don't know. So he's hosting this banquet, right? And he's like drinking with all these other guys, and he's like, yeah, the banquet is fun. And so then he's like, hey, Queen Vashti, that's his queen, that's his wife. He says, come here and show yourself to all the men that are here too. Like, show them how beautiful you are. If you want to start her to be a trophy wife, right? And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, good for her. Go girl power, whatever.
Power.
But King Xerxes didn't like that. That's disrespecting me. So you can't do that. And so he's like, what? Queen Vashti, you disobeyed me. What the heck? And his royal advisors, they're like, hey, King Xerxes, we got an idea. Banish Queen Vashti, find a new queen that will listen to you. And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So they banished Queen Vashti. I don't know. He wasn't okay with the woman taking control, but, whatever. So anyway, so he tells his guards, King Xerxes tells his guards, he says, okay, go find all the beautiful maidens, all the beautiful unmarried maidens of the land, of my kingdom, and bring them to me, okay? So they go looking, and they find all these people, and they're like, okay, you're coming with us, you're coming with us. And they put them in like this beauty pageant. That's basically the equivalent of it. And one of them will be picked to be the new queen, right? Esther got picked as one of those people. And there were thousands and thousands of women, right? So it's not like, oh yeah, there's 10 of us, one of us is going to, no, it's like thousands of women, right? And Esther's 14, and she gets put into this beauty pageant. My dad assured me though, he's like, she would have had her bat mitzvah, so she was technically a woman. And I was like, she's 14 years old, she's not a woman. Like, no, that's not true. But anyway, back then, that's normal, I guess. So anyway, she goes there, and she's in this pageant. And Mordecai, her uncle, he says, don't tell anyone that you're a Jew. Don't tell anyone that of your nationality. Don't tell anyone about it. And she's like, okay. She listens to her uncle. And so she's in this pageant. And Esther quickly found favor with Haggai. Haggai was the leader of the harem that all the girls were staying at, okay? I know this is a lot of information, but try and stick with me, okay? So Haggai quickly found favor over Esther. He's like, I like you. I can tell how smart you are. I can tell that you're a good person. You're beautiful. That's great. So he's like, cool. And so he's like giving her all this knowledge through the years. Okay, so Esther didn't just get to go before the king. That's not how it worked. So for the next 12 months, she had to go through all of this training, right? And she had to learn a new language. She had to have beauty treatments. She had to have all this stuff done because you couldn't even be presented in front of the king until you'd gone through this 12 months of extensive, I don't even want to, you don't really learn, but you're getting your face made up. I don't know, that's extensive, that's too long. But anyway, so she's going through all this. And then all these women, they go one by one to the king, and they present a gift to him, and they're like, here you go, here I am, yay, whatever. And Esther goes, and she doesn't present a gift. She doesn't present a gift to the king. And the king loves that. He's like, yeah, it's just you. You're that's what I'm looking at. You're the gift, And so he likes that. I think back to Vashti, he wanted her to be paraded around and Nah. So Esther's like, here I am, I'm your gift, and it's pretty great. He loves that. So Esther immediately becomes queen, and they're like, all right, cool. And she's 15 years old. She's 15 years old. That's 8th grade, y'all. That's 8th grade. I don't know about you, but when I was in 8th grade, I was kind of like shriek-worthy, like looking, wise, like, people saw me, they were like, ah, oh, okay, sorry. That's what I looked like. And Esther's beautiful. She's a new queen. It's great, Yeah, retweet. But anyway, so she's become queen. She's beautiful. She's doing all this stuff. But this is really unfamiliar territory. Hence the name of our message series this week, Faith Over Familiar. Okay. So, okay, the story's almost done. I promise. Okay. So, another man worked for the king, and his name was Haman. And he was in a high position and had everyone bow to him at the gates when he walked in. He was like, everybody bow to me, I'm really cool and whatever. And Mordecai, he didn't want to bow because he's like, no, you stupid, I don't care. And so Haman, he resented Mordecai. And he was like, hey, yo, you never bow to me. So he goes to the king and he's like, king, help me out here. There are people in your kingdom that don't worship like you do, that don't serve the same God that you do. And we need to kill them all. We need to kill them all. And so king throws him his signet ring, which says okay, king's okay with it. He writes the decree, signs it with the signet ring, sends it out. So in 12 months, all the Jews are going to be slaughtered. That's how it goes. That's the decree now, right? So Mordecai hears it and he's mourning and he rips his clothes, he's wearing burlap, puts ashes on his head, and he's wailing through the kingdom. Can you just imagine a man just running around in a burlap sack, bawling his eyes out? I don't know what I would do with that. But that's how the Jewish people mourned, I guess. So that's what they did. And he looks at Esther and he goes, you're the queen, fix it. Okay. And she's like, uncle, that's illegal. I can't do that. Because you couldn't go before the king without invitation. If you went before the king without invitation, then you could be killed, because it's not okay. And this is where we come into our key verse right here. It's 4:14, and actually I just realized I didn't write it out. So can I steal somebody's card so I don't yeah, thank you. Okay, so, for if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you, I think that's a typo. Okay. Anyway, that you've come to your royal position for such a time as this. Okay, and there's another part of that, but we're not going to read that yet. That's for later. Okay. So, anyway. So, he's like, you've come for such a time as this, right? And she's like, okay. And so, it resolves itself. It's cool. They figure it out. It's all good. So, that's the story of Esther, really brief. I'm trying to break it down for y'all, okay? And so now we get to the bulk of the message, which is living like Esther, right? So, I think that Esther is a great example for living like a radical Christian, right? Not necessarily immoral stuff, because there's a little questionable stuff in there, but what she's doing, I think it's really cool. So I wanna apply these. I wanna teach you how to apply these and what it will look like. And there are 3 points, okay? So everybody get ready to write down the first one. Ready? Okay? You're ready. Thank you, Maya. Is anyone else ready? Yes.
All right.
That's cool. Okay. So the first point is to realize you're here for a purpose. Okay? So God didn't mess up when He made you. This is no coincidence. It's not a coincidence that you're here tonight. It's not a coincidence that you're your age. It's not a coincidence that you're in your class, you go to your school, or you're homeschooled, or whatever. It's not a coincidence. Okay? God didn't mess up. He knows. He knows the plan. God has a plan and a purpose for you. Jeremiah 29:11. It's like you pastor's favorite thing. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. All those things. He has a plan and purpose for you. You're here for a reason. Esther, she definitely shouldn't have been where she was in Susa, right? Not in our eyes anyway, right? Because one, her parents died. Okay, so she wasn't living with her parents, so she went to where her uncle was. Okay, so that's one thing. Her parents shouldn't have died. She shouldn't have gone away in our minds. She was in the land of exile, not in the land that she should have been in. But she's in Susa. That's where she's at, because that's just what they wanted her to do, I guess. It's very unfamiliar territory, but it was for a purpose. It was for a purpose. She was supposed to be queen. You can look back at your key verse. It says you were made to be queen for such a time as this. That's what it's saying. She was supposed to be there. God has got the plan, and it is way way bigger than what we see, all right? We get caught up in thinking that God sees like we do, and that's totally not it. We put him in this box and we're like, yeah, God, this is how you see. And like, I don't know what's going on, so like it's not happening, right? No, like, no, God sees everything. And he's like, you are so dumb sometimes. You see like this much, and there's so much more, you know? It's crazy, okay? So it's so much bigger than what we see. And it doesn't have to make sense to us. It doesn't have to make sense to us because God is the only one who knows. God is the only one who knows your plan. And you're here for a purpose. So often people come and they're talking to me and they're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know. And I'm like, you don't have to know. That's the point. That's so great. Like, we don't have to figure it out. Thank God. Because like, I'd be like, what am I doing? I still am sometimes. I really got to fight this in myself. Okay, y'all? I'm preaching to me as much as I'm preaching to you. So anyway. But God has a plan for us, and it's way bigger. It's way bigger than what we see. We have to let our faith be stronger than doubt. You know, so I could have easily put doubt under that line on that, you know, faith over familiar. I could have been faith over doubt, but I wanted it to be an F word, so it was familiar. That's the one we picked, okay? So you're the only person that can do what God has in store for you. You know, I can't ever do it. Maya can't ever do it. Liz can't ever do it. We can't do what you have planned. We can't do it. You're here for a purpose, and your purpose is not the same as my purpose, and I can't do it for you. I can't make that decision for you. You are the only person that can do what God has in store for you. And you have to accept the fact. You can't just run away from that. Your purpose, this is written in all capitals, so this is important, y'all. Hear this, okay? Your purpose depends on you submitting to God's given assignment. Okay? Your purpose depends on you submitting to God's given assignment. Okay? That's not me saying, hey, yo, I want to do this, God, hope you're okay with it. Like, that wouldn't work. God be like, sweetie, come back. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. And then I come back, and then I'm like, I just spent so many months like doing this thing. And he's like, you should listen to me. I was like, I know. God and I have a real sassy relationship. That's just how we work. And I look at him, and I'm like, you sassy. He's like, I know. It's pretty great. So I already said this. I can't do what you're supposed to do. No one can. I can't choose to live God's life for you. That's a huge thing. Like, I can't choose. If I got to choose, man, everybody would be Christian. Everybody would be happy. And the world would be great. You know, if I got to choose, like, you're going to be a Christian, you're going to be a Christian, you're going to be a Christian, you're going to follow God's word, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to go minister to people. Like, you know how great it would be? But I don't get to do that, unfortunately. Actually, I'd probably make a hot mess out of it. It'd probably be the same anyway. But anyway, I can't choose. I can't choose to accept God for you. That is a decision that you make. You know, Alyssa said this a few weeks ago. She said, you are as close to God as you want to be. That's like, this kind of hurts me a little bit. Because I'm like, hey, but I'm not as close as I want to be. And he's like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because are you making time for me all the time? No. Are you listening to me all the time? No. Then you're not as close as you want to be. You're as close as you want to be. You're not any closer because you make it that way. All right? I don't want to look at anybody when I say that because that would be bad. Anyway, so this is a decision you have to choose yourself. People's lives depend on it. People's lives depended on Esther stepping into her role. She had to choose to realize there is a purpose. She had to choose to accept her assignment from God that was only able to be fulfilled by her. No one else, anyone else could have become queen, but no one else could have done what she did. No one else would have been Jewish. No one else really would have cared. Like, okay, Jewish people being slaughtered is fine, you know. No. No one could have taken Esther's role. That was her role. That's what God had intended. That's what God wanted for her. You have a purpose. You are like Esther. You have a plan. You have a purpose. And God is looking at you and he's saying, step into that role. Step into that role. What are you doing over here? You're supposed to be here. Step into that role. And he's probably not as mad as I am, but I get mad. Because I'm like, hey, y'all stupid. Look over here. For real. This is where you're supposed to be. Walk in it. That's our first point. That's our first point, okay? Okay. Good?
All right.
Yes. Okay. Realize you're here for a purpose. That's our first point. Our second point. Be willing to go into the unfamiliar. Oh my gosh. So everybody knows this quote, right? Or everybody in show choir knows this quote. I don't know about anything else. Whatever. But growth happens where?
Outside
your
your
comfort zone. Outside your comfort zone. See, okay, people knew it. All right. So you can't go anywhere if you're staying right here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do great things. I'm gonna go reach all these people. Come here. It doesn't work. Like you have to be like, okay, like it doesn't work if you're staying here. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Be willing to go into the unfamiliar, okay? God does not like working in the comfort zone. How many of you have noticed that? Man, sometimes I wish. I'm like, God, can you just maybe make it a little easier for me? And he's like, nope, it wasn't easy hanging on the cross. And I'm like, all right, I see you. Okay. This is a real conversation I've had with God before. I'm like, all right, okay, fine, whatever. So me being a youth pastor, this is not easy for me, y'all. I'm real nervous, okay? I'm like out of breath, and I'm like panting, I'm sweating. I don't know if you can see it, I'm pitting out. I don't really know, but I'm nervous. This is hard. This is uncomfortable for me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. Because thank you. I like the whoops. Okay. This is uncomfortable for me, but I want to do it. I want to do it because it's what God had planned for me. Amen. So, message plan for me, it's unfamiliar. Today, I called Maya, and I was like, Maya, I can't go to FCA today. And she's like, why? Is everything okay? And I was like, I'm having a crisis with my message, okay? I had this message planned yesterday. It was written. It's good. It's great, And then I got here today, and I was like, let me practice. And so I'm standing up here, and I start reading it, and I was like, this is awful. I was like, I hate this. And I was like, what did I do? This message sucks. And I was like, I thought I did really good. And I was like, I have to redo it all. So I went to lunch with my dad, and I was like, Dad, what do I do? And he's like, well, where's your heart? He helped me a lot, but he didn't really help me. He was like, here you go. And I was like, okay. And so I went, and I stood in the sanctuary. Because, you can scream in there and no one can hear. So I thought I might need to scream. I didn't end up doing it. It's okay. I'm good, you guys. I'm good. But I thought I might need to do it. And it didn't happen, so it's fine. But God was like, okay, man, here you go. And I was like, oh, I don't know, God. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, just go with it. Okay, just go with it. So I took my phone and I started preaching my message into my phone. And I was sitting on the pew. And I was just like, okay, yeah. And then they found favor in Hey Guy, and it was good. And then, and then I started getting into the message. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And then listen here, okay, listen up. And I was like pacing back and forth. It's unfamiliar, but it feels good. It feels good because it's God. Because God is moving in it. Be comfortable with getting out of the comfort zone. Be comfortable with uncomfortable. Yeah, that's good. Be comfortable with uncomfortable. God has a plan. His plan comes from the uncomfortable. We don't get to do anything. Like RYC, the RYC leadership, this is a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable. But we're all doing it, and I think we're all pretty excited about it. Like, it's good, it's fun, and we know it's God's will. Let me tell you guys, let's side tangent real quick. I'm really excited for RYC, and I think great things are coming. And I'm really excited that you guys are here, and we're going to grow in it. And I'm hoping all y'all will start inviting your friends and being like, hey, come to RYC because you need to hear what's going on. I'm hoping that'll happen. Like, I'm super excited, and things are going to be awesome. So, tangent over, rant over, whatever you want to say. Okay, when we are comfortable, we tend to look away from God because we're like, oh yeah, we got it. This is how I live my everyday life. I know how to do this. It's fine. It's easy, right? And God's like, hey, yo, you-hoo, I'm over here. Where are you looking? Where are you looking? Hey. And I'm like, oh no, I got this, God. I got it. I know what I'm doing. You made me do this every day of my life, right? So God doesn't like working in the uncomfortable. We put God on the back burner. God will take you out of your comfort zone, so you have to place your trust in Him. Oh my gosh, and not your own power. Man, is that true or what? Okay. Esther was in an uncomfortable position, learning all these new things and knowing that she could become queen, the scary and the unfamiliar and the uncomfortable, but she let her faith be bigger. She let her faith be bigger. Somebody say, okay. Okay, here we go. She let her faith be bigger than her fear. She let her faith be bigger than the familiar, than the comfort zone. She let it be bigger. God was still there and still leading, and that's where she drew her comfort. Not in the situation, not in what she was doing. She drew her comfort in saying, God, I know you're still there.
Yeah.
How good is that? That's good. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
Oh, woo, I like that. I like that. Amen. And this is like an ego fluff. That's what that is. The thing I love about Esther, something to draw from Esther, is when she became queen, she's ruling, right? But she still looked to Mordecai for advice. So, she still talked to Mordecai. It was like, she still listened to Mordecai. She still didn't tell people like, hey, I'm a Jew. She didn't, because Mordecai told her not to, And I love that. And I want you guys to hear this, okay? Hear this. Draw comfort, not only from God, but the body He has given you at your faith family. Not just your friends, not just, like good, strong Christians that get what you're going through. Draw comfort from them. Even when you don't know what's going on, even when your life's a hot mess, be like, hey, yo, I need some help. Maya, call up. Like, be like, I have a crisis with my message. Or be like, for me, I'd be like, Dad, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, it's good. It's good. And I'm like, Dad does not help me. It helps a lot, though. It really did. So look to your faith family. I just want to say that. I thought that was really cool. She knew she couldn't do it alone, and she looked to her uncle for advice, So anyway, that's what, God gave us a body, right? And we don't use it because we're Americans and we like to be independent, and we're like, no, I can do this on my own. When I moved this stage, that's right, I moved this stage, no one else came and helped me move this thing, and I was like dying. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, but I was like, I can do it, it's fine. And I'm like sweating like a pig. Like, that's how we operate all the time. We're like, yeah, I got it, it's fine, I'll move this, and like, we can do it sometimes, but a lot of times you'd be like, it'd be so much easier if you just like looked at your neighbor and was like, hey fam, can y'all look at each other and say, hey fam?
Hey fam.
Okay, that was a little weak, but whatever. I liked the whoops. Where'd those go? Okay. Hey, there they are. That's good. Okay. So anyway, I just want to say that. Look to your faith family, and how cool is it that we are called Faith Family Church? Yeah. Okay. Look to your faith family. All right. Okay. Cool. So anyway. This is point number 3. This is a big one. This is what I wanted to preach about most. This point right here. And it said, be ready to die to yourself. Ooh. It's not fun. It's not fun. And I got to do this like every single day. Not literally, don't die, okay? But dying to your plans. I want you to walk away with this. If you can walk away with anything tonight, I want you to walk away with this point. Because it will radically change your lives, okay? So I'm going to pose a question to y'all. And I want you to sit there and sit in this question, okay? It's not an easy question to ask. And it's even harder to answer, okay? What wouldn't you be willing to give up for God? What wouldn't you be willing to give up for God? Okay? And it's a hard question to ask yourself because you're like, everything. I would give up everything for God, right? No. Nope. It's not true. It's not true. You got to put your plans down to pick His up. You can't carry both. You can't carry both. So I'm just an analogy real quick. Okay, so let's say you did really hard physical labor for like, I don't know, 2 weeks, okay? Really, really difficult physical labor. Your hands bled, you were sweating like a pig, it was awful, it was hard, it was difficult, right? And you earned, whatever, $2,000 in these 2 weeks, okay? Like, you worked hard for that, okay? And then God says, hey, I need you to give it to this person. Not a portion of it. I need you to give all of your $2,000 away to this person. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be easy. It would be easy to say yeah, but I heard you, because I felt that sentence like, Jesus, you sure they don't only need like 500? I can push 1,000. My hands bled. My hands bled for that. Like, it's hard. Okay, and so maybe money's not the eye of your, whatever, the apple of your eye. But what is it? What wouldn't you be willing to give up to God? What is that? Find it. Find it, and then give it up. Find it and give it up. So, I want to do an example real quick. I was in college a year ago today, I was in college. I was at Truman State University. I was loving it, right? It was difficult. It was really hard, but I really, really enjoyed it. I love a good challenge. It's so wonderful. And, you know, a semester happened, so I'm home, Christmas break, and God tells me, Amanda, don't go back to school. And I was like, ha, no. It's like, you silly, no. God, no. why? No. You know, I was like, that's my future. Like, I've known my entire life I wanted to be a doctor, and I'm going to study that, and I'm going to go help people. Like, this is my future. I'm going for free, basically. Like, there's a blessing. Like, what are you doing? He's like, leave. I said, no. Don't make me leave. Don't make me. That's my future. That's my whole life plan. He said, leave. I said, okay. So I told my dad, and I was like, Dad, I'm leaving college. And he's like, great. We'll have another person in the family. Like, my dad's weird like that. He loves that. But anyway, so I was like, okay, my dad's not mad about it. I guess it's okay. I guess, okay? So I'm out there, and I had to get to a point where I let my dream and my plan go for something I didn't even know. I didn't even know what was going to happen. Like, it was unfamiliar territory. And I was like, God, what am I doing here? I'm going back to Keokuk and I've got nothing. I don't want to be there, you know? Like, why am I here? But I didn't know what he had planned. But God did. It was bigger than me. It was bigger than me. And I had to walk into it. The only thing I was holding on to was God. Because I didn't know what else I was doing. So then I got a job, right? And I got this really great job and I got a big pay raise. And I was like, oh man, this is the hand of God. Like, great, it's so wonderful. And it definitely was. I love my bosses. They loved me. I think it's pretty cool. And so, anyway, so I went and I did that. And then I got to this point recently where I was like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here anymore. I was like, but no. Remember, this was from God, so you got to be okay with it, right? You know. And he's like, no, Amanda, your season here is over. And I was like, no. I was like, financial stability here, okay? Like, I know I live with my parents and they don't make me pay rent, which thank God bless, you know. But like, I was like, Jesus, all of my money would be gone, you know. I was like, I can't do that. And he's like, no, do it. I was like, I don't know about that. And then I went on vacation, and then Alyssa's like, I'm leaving. And I was like, I'm a new youth pastor. That's what's happening. Yep, okay, here I am. Here I am, God, step into the uncomfortable. I've gotten comfortable with that, you know? So I had no income, no idea, nothing. But God still told me to go, and I did it. Losing my plans so I can gain God's. What wouldn't you give up? What wouldn't you give up? I gave up my education, what I thought was my future, my job, some of my friends because they were at Truman and I couldn't be there anymore. All for a mystery. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but God did. Esther did too. She had to die to what her life would be. She thought she had to die, but hers was literally, not just like her plan, her future, whatever. She had to die, literally. She went to the king. But 16b on your card, it's on the bottom part of your card, says, if I must die, I must die. If I must perish, I must perish. She accepted it. She stepped into that unfamiliar territory. She stepped into it. She's like, there you go. You have to die to your own plans. Stop planning by yourself. Start looking towards God's plans, because His is so much better. So much better. Go back to point number one. Go back to point number one. Realize you're here for a purpose. God's purpose. He's got it. He's got it. Stop planning on your own and start planning with God. That's good. I did a good job there. Thanks, Jesus.
Amen.
Thanks, Jesus, for that. Okay. We have to start becoming more like Esther, where we are letting God lead us, even when we don't know what we're going into. Even when we don't know what we're going into. Think of like Finding Dory. Finding Nemo, the first one. Yeah. Okay, in the trenches. And he's like, go through it, not over it. Right? And Marlon's looking at it, and he's like seeing bones, and he's like, oh no, I'm going over it. That's my plan. I'm going over. He told us to go through the dark, scary place that we don't know what we're doing. Go through. Go through it, not over it. Because you know what happened when they went over it? They got stung by jellyfish. So that's bad. That's bad news. Don't get stung by jellyfish. Go through it. Go through it. Thanks. Let your faith be stronger than the familiar. God makes it work out. So where's our trust? Don't be discouraged when you don't know what's going on. It's not something you need to figure out. Thank God. Can we all just say amen? Can we all just say amen? Okay, if I had to figure this out, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be in like Timbuktu, like, yeah, I was told to go here. No. God already has a plan. God already has it planned out. He's got it written out. And you guys are going to do great things through God, but you have to let Him. I can't make that decision for you. I can't make that decision for you. I can't make that decision for you to come to church and to listen to God and to be like, hey, God, do your will not mine. I can't make that choice for you. I can sit here and preach and sweat and do all that all day long, but I can't make that decision for you. I can't make that decision for you. Be like Esther. Every day wake up and say, your will be done, not mine. That's really, really, really hard, y'all. But once you see the life that you have planned, and you're walking in it, and you see the plan that God has planned, and you're walking in it, you're going to like this one a lot better. This one's going to suck. This one's really great. Go in this one. Ask yourself what you won't give up. What aren't you willing to give up? Find it and give it up. Worship team, you can come up. It's a hard question, and it doesn't feel good. When you find it, it doesn't feel good. Because you're like, oh, I really want to give that up for God. It hurts. It kind of sucks. You're like, I really want to give that up. It's a hard question. It doesn't feel good, but once you get there, God will get you through it. Not over it. Through it. Say it with me, y'all. I'm going to go through these 3 points again. I want y'all to say it. You guys can say it too. I hear you right behind me, okay? Your mic's not on. Yeah. Okay, so number 1 is realize you're here for a purpose.
Realize you're here for a purpose.
Oh, I love it. I didn't even count down. That's so great. Okay, number 2 is be willing to go into the unfamiliar.
Be willing to go into the unfamiliar.
I'm loving this. Okay. And 3, be ready to die to yourself.
Be ready to die to yourself.
You can start playing. Okay? Start playing. Okay. I want you guys to go into this moment of worship, and I want you to die to yourself. I want you to take that thing that you're not willing to give up, and I want you to give it up. I want you to turn to your faith family, and I want you to go and say, pray for me. Lay that down. Lay that down. Lay that down. If you don't feel comfortable praying over people, step into the unfamiliar. Start praying for people. They need it. I need it. Pray for your friends. You said, hey fam, you said it. This is your family. Look to them. Look to them. Start praying for each other. Start making that work out. Start dying to yourself so that we can look like Christ and stop being like the ridiculous Christians you see on TV. We get all this hate, you know, and people are like, Christians are hateful. It's not what Jesus died for. Jesus died so that we can look at each other and say, I see you for the broken mess that you are, but I love you anyway. And I want to see you get through it. Be like Esther and save the people. That's what she did. She saved a bunch of people because she wasn't afraid. She said, if I must die, I must die. And we don't do that. We don't put our own lives down. We don't put our own lives down because it's uncomfortable. Because it's not really pleasing to us. Because we don't get to sin anymore. Because we don't get to talk to people like we want to. And we don't get to go smoke. And we don't get to go drink. And we don't get to go have sex. And we don't get to go and do all this fun stuff. It's destructive. It's destructive, and you pay for that. Even if you're with Jesus, even if you ask God, there is consequence for your sin. Die to yourself, and you will live a better life, even if it is uncomfortable. The cross was uncomfortable. He did it anyway because he loved you. Take this moment of worship and actually use it. I don't want you to walk out the same way that you walked in. I don't want it. Devote your life to Jesus and say, this time I'm for real. Die to yourself. Surrender that. Let go. Get the sticky fingers off. Say, God, this is my brick. Take it. Don't let me pick that back up. Get this through your minds. Because we never know when our last day is. And our last day can be somebody else's last day. Somebody took their life here just recently, right off this bridge. No one knew that that was his last day. that were pouring good things into him, that were constantly giving him good, strong Christian things. How many good Christian models did he have to look at? Or was he looking at the brokenness? Was he looking at us where we're like, oh yeah, Jesus loves me, this I know, let me go smoke. Jesus loves me, this I know, let me go drink and party, let me go have sex with all these people. Jesus loves me, this I know, but I'm going to do whatever I want. How many people did he look at like that? Because I guarantee you that if he had been shown the love of Jesus, then he could have been healed. And you can too. If you've got broken stuff, you can be healed. But it doesn't happen until you die to yourself. And I am so tired. I'm so tired of watching people say, I give it all to you, Jesus. Here it is. I'm so tired of that because it's not real. It's snotty and it's messy. And you sit there and you bawl your eyes out and you're like, God, take this. Take it. Because I can't hold it anymore. It's not God's intention for us to hold it. We aren't supposed to hold the sin. We're supposed to give it up to Him. Be like Esther. Step into the uncomfortable. Step into that vulnerable position. Look to your family and ask for prayer. Get stronger. And then say, okay, I'm dying. Dying to myself. No more. No more of this. Your will be done now. We're going to go into worship, and I want you to spend this first song. I don't even want you to talk to anybody. I want you to just stay there with you. And you and God. And just stay there and say, God, help me. Help me find it. What's that one thing that keeps tripping me up? What is it? Help me find it, and help me lay it down. And then, when you need prayer, because you will, go and find prayer. And when they come to pray with you, pray over them. Easy as pie. It's uncomfortable, but it's easy. Because God's with us. God's leading us in it. Alright. Let's start worshiping. Okay. Dan wants to say something. Listen up.
You know, familiar is basically never trying anything new. Never doing anything you've never done before. And I guarantee I've got more experience doing the wrong thing than anybody in this room. And I'm not proud of it, that's just the way it is. But you also have to remember, you never fail if you never try. The only time you ever fail is when you don't take that first step and you don't try. That's all it is. Now, that could be in anything. Your job, your family, your relationship with God. But if God's telling you to go somewhere and I can't do that, that's the only time you fail. Because even though you go do it and you make mistakes, you don't necessarily do it right every time, that's not failing, that's learning. And there's a big difference between failing and learning. And that's the only thing you really got to remember is you only fail when you never try.